Welcome back, everybody. We are on our way to go take down EE. That's what we're doing.
We're
right?
gonna go kill her.
I hear she's a small child, so this will be fun.
It'll be easy.
Yeah. It's one of the only the only missions that Raiden has had that I feel like he would be very successful at.
Killing a little kid.
Killing a child.
Yeah.
I feel like he could do this.
It's one of the toughest boss fights in the game.
When you knock it, the elevators come faster.
That's like pressing the button several times.
Yeah.
You ever do it in real life? Just knock on the wall.
That's all she ever does.
That's all I do.
Come on, keep pushing the button.
Yeah, if you ever see someone in the street knocking on the walls, that's me.
Get her.
What? Why would they get me?
It's weird to be actually like playing the game again after such a fucking long codec and cutscene.
Oh yeah, this is kind of weird. It was a nice break. Especially since I hate the water scenes because it just get easily mixed up. I was supposed to take a left.
You know, I really think that this is inspired by Alien Resurrection, because if you remember, there's like a whole like CG sequence where there's an alien swimming.
Mm-hmm. Swims like that.
It swims exactly like that, where it's like it's got a flipper or something.
Okay.
Raiden, are you reading me?
I think it's kicking its tail left and right.
Yeah.
Wet and miserable. This place is flooded.
He should be excited
stops,
that
really.
Otacon is calling him directly.
He's graced with Otacon's presence.
Listen, there's something I have to tell
I
you
would be
about
ecstatic.
EE. Don't worry about her. I'll get her out. She's
Our
afraid
back
of
history
water.
is fucking complicated.
When she was 6 years
My-
old, she almost
their back
drowned with
history
my
is-
father in our swimming pool.
She can't swim?
Well, yes and no. We used to swim a lot together when we were kids. In fact, she swam like a fish until that day when she almost
Man,
drowned.
this stuff is with Otacon's gonna get fucking weird and crazy.
I learned later that EE was calling me for help. She didn't doubt for a minute that I'd be there.
I feel like
You could see the
her
pool from
past
my
is
room.
specifically made to make this more difficult.
Well,
Like
yeah.
any way that they can make her being underwater more difficult.
Well, again, because we were talking about things like underwater levels being levels that gamers hate. We're going to come up to a fucking escort mission pretty soon, and that's something else like famous for gamers fucking hating escort missions. I mean, is this an accident? And it's like the worst escort mission where she's like, she has panic attacks and she's feeble, she's scared of the water. It's a water mission. It's like Kojima's almost like saying "fuck you" to the player.
She mentioned that EE couldn't swim
I suppose it could have been worse. You could have made the player escort her through the water instead of just having her piggyback.
Yeah.
How would that even like? That would be such a nightmare.
You can help her overcome the trauma.
Just about any game where I have to babysit an NPC pisses me off.
Tear the cam off.
Escort missions are the fucking worst.
Rescue is up to you.
God, they're trusting Raiden with so much.
Except for the best escort mission, which is Eco.
I thought this was a private conversation between Raiden and Otacon.
Yeah,
This is
Snake. So
bullshit.
see your way out of it.
Because you won't have time to look
What?
at it when you try to
That doesn't
read
work
it
at
out.
all.
I'm counting on you, Raiden.
I covered most of the core when I had to take out the C4s. If there's anything you need to ask me, call me on the codec.
If there's anything you need to ask me, call Otacon.
No, where was
Fucking
I?
water.
I think I need to go. And actually, Josh is right. It's pretty easy to control. Oh shit, those fucking bombs though.
Man, this is making me need to pee.
Go ahead and do it, Josh.
I
Justin.
already did.
Sweet.
Give me a swig of that apple juice you got there.
It's a little bitter, I'm warning you. It's a little salty. Oh, you just want to take it, you want to make a sauce out of it for your shit steak. Always classy on our Metal Gear year. I'm kind of tempted.
I wish I could do the whole level like this.
That's great. How does that even work?
Ankle weights.
I'm kind of tempted just to let Raiden drown so we can get a glimpse of that animation of just him just fucking dying.
If we ever get around to playing Rising, you'll be a fucking fan.
That's fucked up.
This is like a horror movie.
Well, there's a moment like that in Jaws.
His wiener touched his head.
His dead wiener.
dead-
was
wiener.
like that was his like final practical joke.
Gotcha. He teabagged him even in
Yeah.
death. Well, there's a shock moment like that in Jaws It's underwater and a body comes out. But there's also a James Bond movie. There's 2 James Bond movies where there's underwater sequences that are very similar to this. And Bond's like unscrewing a hatch, just like we saw, and then a dead body comes out of it. So it could be a reference to multiple things.
Isn't the swimming scene in Resurrection, like with gnarled stuff like that? Am I misremembering it? Like gnarled chunks of metal that they're swimming between and around? I have to watch that scene again.
I made it.
Operation.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever I've played this recently on my own, I thought I was going to have serious trouble with this part and get lost, and I actually did all right. I surprised myself.
Yeah, maybe it's not that as hard. It's one of those trauma things. Maybe it's not as hard as you remember it being the first time. Oh, but Josh, you're right. That scene in Resurrection, now that I think about it, it's because they were having a gunfight and parts of the ship have exploded. So it's very similar to this, where it's like there's wreckage and things.
Don't interrupt this guy's meditation.
His meditation on the water.
Relaxing.
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry. Vamp has every reason to kill him at this point. He interrupted his meditation.
Does Tai Chi.
All evil people do. And he also dances the flamenco?
All right, so let's get into Vamp, because that's what we're getting into.
I thought we already got into Vamp.
I fucking
You know
love
what I
Vamp.
mean?
I love Vamp in this.
Oh my god. Okay, so we haven't even touched the surfaces of Vamp. Vamp was actually supposed to be 2 different characters. Vamp is an amalgamation of a bunch of bosses that they didn't have time to make. The very first thing I would say that would make sense is that Vamp was originally supposed to be a woman.
Okay.
Which will explain a lot. They got very far through the production process of him being a woman until they changed it like pretty much at the last minute.
Wow. Yeah, that makes actually a lot more sense on different levels.
And also, Vamp's character model and his design is based on a flamenco dancer named Cortez. And I'm probably going to throw up a graphic, but do yourself a favor and Google Cortez flamenco dancing. It's fucking Vamp. He looks exactly like Cortez.
I think it's great that he was a woman, and it would have been very like tropey to have the woman be all sexual.
Yeah,
and
I mean that's interesting. That is interesting.
Sexual vampire. Instead, it's a male, and he's being all sexual and like flirty with him, but
And
also like threatening.
And bisexual too. Like I mean, that's not something. That's
And
something.
his penis knife.
That's something that you kind of get in anime sometimes, but it's never anything as mainstream as that what Metal Gear Solid 2 would end up being. So you have to give him credit for trying something like that.
Still armed with a purified hydrogen bomb.
Purified hydrogen bomb?
And so another thing. Oh my god.
Have you noticed the echoes of the Ocelot fight from MGS1 in this scene or this fight?
Oh yeah.
Like the center part you can't approach, just like you can't approach Baker, and you're skirting around trying to shoot this guy who's dodging.
Right.
And Solidus has no idea of its existence.
I think just about every boss battle in this game is a callback to something from Metal Gear 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or
And yet-
remixed, yeah.
Yeah, and even in the Ocelot fight where there's fucking codex, like there's cutscenes, right before you get into the battle. But I guess that's through every Metal Gear game.
6 months ago,
Man, everyone wants to tell me everything.
I want to tell you
Jeez.
everything about everything.
abandoned to
I'm going to kill you, but first.
But first,
we were labeled as killers, responsible for the mass murder of civilians as well as
But the reason why he was meditating on the water is because, like I said, they changed the character of Vamp at the last minute. He was an amalgamation of different bad guys. One of the people that he was supposed to be, you're fighting here, you're not supposed to be fighting Vamp, you're supposed to be fighting a character named Chinaman. That's his name, is the Chinaman. He was supposed to be a martial arts expert who was based on Jet Li. So basically, Kojima saw the Matrix and he was like, I wanted to have a Neo-like character that can supposedly like bend the rules of physics, and that's why Vamp can run on water, because that was supposed to be one of Chinaman's powers, is that he can run on water and he can run up walls.
it's so weird. Like, I don't know, the way that they threw this character together, I've always been like, this doesn't make, a whole lot of these things don't make a whole lot of sense. And just knowing that it's 2 different characters, each one makes sense in its own way, it's just really bizarre.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Chinaman, like they had so much, like they had a lot planned with him, and even he was like a lot of weird mashed together ideas. Like he was supposed to look like Vulcan Raven, and that he was covered in tribal tattoos.
Oh.
But he looked cyberpunk, like he had leather jackets and those really small like sunglasses that were popular in the turn of the century. So basically, he was supposed to look like Neo from the Matrix, except for he was covered in tribal tattoos. And one of the things was that, so it was the same level. We were surrounded by water, and he would run across the water and run up the wall. But one of the things is that his tattoos, he had 2 giant snakes on him. And what would happen is that every time he jumped into the water, the snakes would come alive and come out of the water, and you would fight these giant snakes that were coming out of the water. Like almost like like something from God of War or something, and you'd have to fight the snakes.
God, if that doesn't hammer home the VR reading.
Yeah, I mean, that's super. I mean,
Like, wait, this guy's a fucking vampire.
Right.
He can walk on water. None of this makes sense. Sort of like in the Matrix. Like, why can he fly?
well, yeah, I mean, that's like.
Oh, because he knows it's not real.
That's Kojima directly referencing the Matrix. I mean, just to hammer your point home, Josh, I mean, that was one of the boss battles, supposed to be a Matrix-like boss battle. And I also think it's interesting because I was saying in anime, the whole thing about a character jumping into the water and the tattoos coming alive, especially a snake tattoo, that is a direct reference to an anime called Ninja Scroll. And Ninja Scroll is an old samurai. It's based in, a samurai. And one of the reasons why I'm bringing it up now is because one of the major inspirations for Snake Eater is Ninja Scroll. So I'm going to talk about that a lot when we get into Snake Eater. But almost all of the bosses, a lot of the beats in that game are referencing that movie Ninja Scroll. But that's the direct correlation of Kojima being like, I liked something I saw in an anime, and I'm just going to use it in my game. Which is funny because he didn't end up using it. We just went with Vamp.
I always have a tough time with this fight. Every time. Especially because I really like to do things non-lethally, and it just makes it even harder.
He's so hard to do this non-lethal. Damn it.
Isn't using the Stinger missiles, isn't that supposed to be kind of like a cheat?
I don't know. It's what I've always used.
Because I know a lot of people don't. They try to use their trank gun or
hey,
use other guns.
Like, Dora's like, hey, you gave me a fucking rocket launcher.
Yeah, I mean, that's
I'm gonna use it.
Yeah.
It's weird that he glows too. That he's glowing red. Is he going Super Saiyan? What's going on there? He's got the Kaioken. But they even rehashed this battle in Metal Gear Solid 4. It was very similar to this.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Shit! Sorry.
This really does seem like a more traditional boss battle, like you would see in a different game, too.
That's true.
But yeah, Josh, I see what you're saying about it being very similar to the Ocelot battle, where there's a square in the middle and you're basically just running circles around the square.
Yeah, and if you go in the square, you're dead.
Yeah.
And then you have him
Do they
moving around the
explain-
arena.
Do they explain what's in the square? Like, is that like boiling water?
I think
which-
it's hyper-oxygenated.
Yeah, because you're saying there's a hydrogen bomb or something like that. So there's like it's basically a vortex in the middle there, and it's pure, like it's oxygenated water.
It has no heft. Like, if you jump in it, you'll just sink.
Yeah. It's basically a death trap, which we'll see in a few minutes.
Ah!
But Josh, I do want to bring up, because we're talking about boss battles, or bosses that were supposed to be in this game that they couldn't include. A little tidbit is that the end was supposed to be in this game.
What?
So the end from Snake Eater, who is one of the sniper characters, one of the most interesting. I would have to say, Dora, your favorite boss battle is Vulcan Raven.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think my favorite boss battle is the end from Snake Eater. That's just an amazing, phenomenal boss battle, but we'll get into that later. But the end was supposed to be in here. A slightly different version, though. He was actually called Old Boy, was the name of his character. And he was supposed to be a soldier that was over 100 years old. And the whole idea was that he was supposed to be this legendary hero from the Second World War who taught the big boss everything he knows. Sound familiar? Old Boy was supposed to be the boss. So the end is an amalgamation of Old Boy and the boss, the original boss. The only thing, though, is that Old Boy was actually a Nazi. He was a Nazi war criminal.
What?
And that's why he got his name. Old Boy was supposed to be a bad translation of Old Devil. And they actually were supposed to say that in the game, that it was a mistranslation. But his was supposed to be that he fought you with all World War II era weapons. So basically, he'd be doing this, but instead of throwing knives at you, he'd be shooting at you with a Panzerfaust. So like a rocket launcher. But I think it's weird that there are so many things that Kojima wanted to do in this game that he couldn't, and ended up doing it in Snake Eater. But originally, the boss was supposed to be a Nazi.
I love that he sinks.
So the reference here is that there's a series of vampire movies starring Christopher Lee, rest in peace, where Dracula it was always like, Dracula, the blood of Dracula, scars of Dracula series. And a lot of those, one of his weaknesses was running water. And there's actually an ending of one of those movies where he's running across a river of ice, and Van Helsing shoots holes in the water, and it cracks, and he starts falling into a river. And supposed to be the Dracula's weakness is running water, and so he does the exact same thing. And he goes, "Roar!" And he's got his fangs coming out and everything. So that's what that reference is. That's why it's so cheesy looking.
I like the Colonel now wants you to find Emma.
The president.
Yeah, instead of saying the president, just insert Emma here.
The Emma.
Snake, did you
Yeah.
catch all that? I didn't make it on time. Arsenal's going active.
What else is new,
I
kid?
heard the hostage rescue's gonna have
I
to
listened
wait.
to all your
Going
conversations.
after Emma.
We'll secure the computer room. Looks like we can't install the virus program without Emma.
Can't your partner do it?
I would if I could, but the security for this system is no joke. I need more time.
That's why we.
Yeah, that's every
Understood.
every hacker character in every movie.
I need more
More
time.
time.
What's up?
A lot of years have passed between.
Oh man, here we go.
Oh dear.
Here we go.
Right?
You know, the less I know, the better.
We can talk about this later. Raiden, I think you'd better get moving.
Thank you,
Emma's in the
Snake.
locker room to the north, right?
I'm on it.
He actually saved us there. Can you do the high knees under the water?
Oh shit!
Oh,
Fucking.
See,
damn
there's the
it.
blood.
Yeah, I totally did that on purpose.
So if there were sharks in the water, that would distract them.
I'm
You
sorry.
would be dead.
That would have been so stupid.
That would have been fucking hard.
That would have been hard, and that there are sharks patrolling like a James Bond movie. Fucking
Nice.
hell.
Nice.
that would have been scary as shit.
Yeah, could you imagine a giant shark coming at you down here? That would scare the shit
I'm
out of me.
afraid of water, and I don't like sharks.
Yeah, I mean, I have a thing about being underwater and having creatures swimming at me. So even in a video game, that like fucking weirds me out. So I wouldn't have been able to play it very well.
Oh, it's just a room full of mines. Sorry, I'm still trying to figure out this area. Turn around.
Man, I think it's pretty cool how nonchalantly we got through that boss battle.
Okay.
That was just like, all right.
went in a circle.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's always a fight for me on that one.
I think, yeah. I mean, especially if you're using tranks. I can't. I always use stingers. It's fine.
Well, I mean, it's not really. Shouldn't that be considered non-lethal if it's Vamp? Like, it doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah, it's all non-lethal.
Up, 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 up.
Oh, okay. So I actually did go in a circle.
Did it?
You did it. You done did it.
I was actually in the right area, and then I came back out like an idiot. God damn it, Raiden. I get easily mixed up.
Disorient. Well, I think water levels are supposed to do that for you. It's
There you
supposed to be like a
There we
maze.
go.
Also, it's interesting that he has like the water on the lens, like on the screen, like it's a camera lens.
It doesn't help that the map wasn't available.
One of the worst things to ever happen to games.
What, having water on the lens?
Having anything on the fucking lens. Like there's a damn camera. I'm supposed to be in this place, not filming it.
Are you, Josh?
Ugh.
Dun dun dun. So I think that's it. I think we were about to find.
I don't think so.
This child we're looking for.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
All right.
Let's just look in these lockers for a while. Yeah, just hide in that locker.
Book.
God damn it, you're full of pornography. God
Book
damn it.
full.
I'm so full of
You got to get rid of
pornography.
some of your equipment so you can get more pornography.
I just have too much pornography.
Too much pornography. I think you're right. Okay, I think we got to the locker. We need to hide in the locker, and that's where you're going to spend the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So join us next time, guys, with our Locker Simulator 2000 while we sit in this dark corner and read our pornography. Join us next time. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to help us read pornography in this locker. See you next time, guys.